Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I am back with another video. Today we're going down the urban legend path. More specifically, Japanese urban legends. I just want to give a big shout out to Scott Evans, who's really helped me with this video. Thank you so much, Scott. He has sourced for me a Japanese poem that if you read out loud in its entirety, you will die. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So the poem is called Tomino's Hell, and it was written by Seiju Yaso in 1911. Now interestingly, Seiju Yaso was actually a child nursery rhyme writer as well as a popular music lyricist, so it seems a bit odd that one of his poems has gone on to have this urban legend around it that if read out loud in its entirety, you fall very ill, come under great misfortune, or you do indeed die. We will get into all of the reasoning behind this and the origin of the urban legend, but I feel like we should maybe begin this one by reading Tomino's Hell. So there is an English translation, and apparently it works just as well as the Japanese one. So here we go, guys. Tomino's Hell. His older sister vomits blood, and his younger sister vomits fire, and the cute Tomino vomits his soul. Tomino falls into hell alone, the darkness of hell where even flowers don't bloom. Is it Tomino's older sister wielding the whip? The blood on the whip weighs on his mind, beating and striking yet not hitting at all. There is but a single road to the eighth and most painful hell. Would you request guidance into the darkness of hell from the golden sheep or the nightingale? Put as much as you can into the leather sack in preparation for the journey into the most painful of hells. Spring comes to the forest and the valley, and to the seven twisting valleys of dark hell. The nightingale in the cage, the sheep in the cart, and tears in the eyes of cute Tomino. Cry, nightingale, in the forest rains. He screams as loud as he can in yearning for his younger sister. The cries echo throughout hell, and the buttercup blooms. Through the seven mountains and seven valleys of hell, the cute Tomino's solo journey. If they are in hell, bring them. The mountain of pins and needles, the red pins don't stand out as a sign leading. I will not finish this poem for obvious reasons. Yeah, again with a lot of these things I've said to you before, right? Do I believe this poem will kill me? I don't think so. I'm probably 99% sure it won't. However, that 1% chance, I don't want to risk it, and I don't want you guys to risk it either. So please don't try this poem, alright? Because I don't want that on my conscience. But this is Tomino's Hell, the poem that apparently if read out loud in its entirety, you will either fall very ill, great misfortune, or in the worst case scenario, you will die. But what's the story? What's the history behind this poem, and why has it now got attached to it that if you read it out loud, you will die? Well, let's look into it. So this is courtesy again of Scott Evans, who found this source on kawabana.net. The link is down below, guys. So it says that Tomino's Hell, or Tomino no Jigoku, was written by Seiju Yaso in 1919. Sorry, I said 1911 earlier. Poetry collection Sakin. He was 26 at the time. On the surface, the poem is about a person named Tomino and their journey through hell. It's said that if you read the poem out loud, then you will either die or suffer from a great catastrophe. In 1983, a director by the name of Teruyamu Suji made a film based on the poem and later died, which was how rumours of the poem being cursed first came about. But why is the poem cursed? Who is Tomino, and why is he or she in hell? So the meaning is, even for Japanese speakers, the true meaning behind Tomino's Hell can be difficult to understand. There are countless blog entries and forum posts where readers ask others what the poem means, and if any of them have been brave enough to read it out loud. There are several interpretations, and it's up to the reader to decide for themselves what the poem means to them. There appears to be a lot of misleading information about this particular legend in English, so let's take a closer look at what is going on. At face level, this is a poem about Tomino travelling through hell. Who is Tomino? The gender is never mentioned in Japanese, nor is Tomino a common name, particularly to boys or girls. It can be deduced from the poem that Tomino is a male, however, as expressed by his love for his younger sister. There's more, but I'll get to that in a moment. The poem begins by letting the reader know that Tomino has thrown up his tama. This is the first important point. The kanji used in the poem are the characters for treasure. The reading gives for those kanji, however, is tama expresses balls or beads. This is on purpose, as it means to draw a parallel to tamashi, one's spirit. Tomino has thrown up his spirit, he has lost his soul, and thus he begins his descent into hell. Yet Tomino is not travelling through hell, not literally anyway. It's largely believed that the poem is a metaphor for war. His older sister spits up blood. She is passionately encouraging him to fight for their country and win the war. His younger sister spits up fire. She is encouraging him in her own innocence as he sets out. Then Tomino spits up his tama. He is presenting his life for the cause. The poem repeatedly refers to Tomino as cute, letting the reader know that this is only a young man, still innocent himself when he sets out. Much of the imagery presented throughout the rest of the poem draws allusions to the battlefield and the horrors presented within. He sees the buttercups, those flowers that often grow between the rice fields back home. The poem mentions him hitting and beating and yet not striking at all, reminding us of the fruitlessness of it all. He cries for his younger sister as he travels through the 7 valleys of hell to reach the last, the 8th and most painful. He suffers more and more. Something that gets lost in translation is the last few lines. The red pins signify the senninbari that soldiers used to wear into war. This was a piece of white cloth, usually a metre long, that was sewn with 1,000 red stitches from 1,000 different women. Different patterns and slogans would be sewn within, and the soldiers wore them as good luck and a sign of devotion to the women they left behind. They were supposed to give the wearer courage, good luck and immunity from injury. These were generally made by the soldiers' families, their mothers, sisters, girlfriends and wives. These women, who traditionally stand near temples, stations or other busy areas of town and ask passing women to sew a single stitch, although in later periods such as World War II these were made en masse by thousands of women at once and then posted to soldiers already at war. So the senninbari is not just a sign of good luck, it's also supposed to be an identifying mark, a measure-ishi, should Tomino die on the battlefield. They can identify him by his senninbari and return him to his family. The final lines mention that the senninbari does not stand out, however, and it's left to the reader to imagine why. If Tomino is unable to be identified, that means first of all that he has likely died in battle, and secondly that he won't be returned to his family. Suddenly the poem takes on an entirely different meaning, one even scarier than the literal reading of transversing through hell. So basically the author here has translated from Japanese and believes that this is actually a metaphor for going to war. But how did it become the legend that it is? Well, in 1974 a movie called Denin ni Shishu To Die in the Countryside was released. It was written and directed by Terayama Tsuji. It was directed by Terayama Tsuji, and he took a lot of inspiration from Tomino's Hell when making the film. When he later died, people claimed it was because of that poem. There were also rumours of a female university student who died after reading it. Yet in reality, Tomino's Hell did not become the urban legend it is until 2004 in the book Kokoru wa Korogaru Ishi no Uni. I did that in one take. Author Yamato Inuhiku claimed, if you by chance happen to read the poem out loud, after you will suffer from a terrible fate which cannot be escaped. Even though people have been reading Tomino's Hell out loud since 1919, it wasn't until 2002 that one person claimed that it was cursed. While Yamata only claimed that one would suffer a terrible fate, rumours of Terayama and the university student were also floating around at the time. So it didn't take long for the legend to mutate and turn into read this poem out loud and you will die. Never mind that, Terayama died 9 years after his film was made, and no one knew who this female university student was. The poem creator, Saiju Yasu, lived to the ripe old age of 78 himself, 51 years after creating the poem and presumably reading the poem out loud countless times during his life. So there we go, guys. That's a little bit of background about Tomino's Hell. Now, what do you think? I do now, after reading, you know, all of the about the legend and the story behind it, I feel a little bit silly that I won't finish the poem, you know, because clearly it's probably not going to kill you. But are you still going to do it? Are you still going to try? I bet you still won't try it, because I'm not. I'm not going to do it. And it's just one of those things, and that's what I love about all this kind of stuff, you know. It's like Bloody Mary and the Candy Man and the elevator ritual that I said in the video the other day, you know. It's just those things, like they're obviously ridiculous, right? Still won't try them. Still won't try them. However, I mean, to be fair, I did say the same about a Ouija board, and then I did it in the Ghost documentary, so who knows, one day I may finish Tomino's Hell. But guys, that's today's video. That is Tomino's Hell. What do you think about the poem? What do you think about the legend and the story behind it? Thank you again to Scott for finding this for me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to the author on cowabana.net. The link to that is down below if you want to check it out for yourself. I do really appreciate it, guys, everyone coming in here and listening to me talk about these urban legends and all this spooky stuff and conspiracy stuff, you know, guys. I really do appreciate it. Some of you know I took a slight hiatus. I was still uploading because I had some videos in the bank, but I took a slight hiatus because, you know, I had a bit of anxiety and all those kind of things. I'm still working on it. I'm still getting there. But all of your lovely comments really did help, guys, so I do really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will see you guys very soon. If you want to support me, all the links, Patreon and all that good stuff is down below. Twitch.tv/Dudey Rhino is where I stream a lot of the time. I just want to, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We hit 60,000 subscribers, which is unbelievable. The next is 100k. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you so much, guys. See you very soon. Sweet one, geese.